This video contains discussions of domestic violence, psychological manipulation, and murder. Viewer discretion is advised. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic abuse, please know that help is available. We've included resources in the description below. In a quiet American town, one marriage hid a secret darker than anyone could imagine. Jeremy Simko was found dead in his bed, shot in the back of the head. The person charged with his murder, his wife Julene Simko. But what made this case explode online wasn't just the brutal crime itself. It was the discovery of a bizarre, legal-sounding document they had created, a slave contract. This agreement, filled with rules, boundaries, and punishments, masked a deadly psychological game that had been playing out behind closed doors. To their neighbors, Jeremy and Julene Simko seemed like any other couple. Through a trail of emails, legal filings, and the now infamous contract, a disturbing picture emerged. It laid out a series of rules, duties, and restrictions, blurring the lines between marital obligations and absolute control. Detectives who analyzed it called it unsettling, unusual, and darkly manipulative. Was this a random break-in, or was it something far more personal? As detectives dug deeper, the slave contract came to light, shifting their focus entirely. They had to determine what role this strange document played. Was it a motive, a catalyst, or simply a bizarre sideshow to a premeditated murder? Detectives worked tirelessly to unravel the twisted domestic dynamic that had defined her marriage. They pressed her on the details of the contract, her relationship with Jeremy, and the events of that fateful morning. Julene's demeanor was closely scrutinized. Psychological experts later analyzed the interrogation footage, identifying clear patterns of coercion and psychological domination. It was a chilling look into a mind that seemed to operate within a distorted reality, governed by the very contract that now implicated her in murder. With the contract as a guide, investigators began to piece together the full story. They sifted through timelines, examined financial records, and combed through years of emails between Jeremy and Julene. Each piece of evidence helped build a case that pointed directly at Julene. The prosecution argued that the contract was not just a bizarre agreement, but a tool of control that ultimately led to murder. They presented a narrative of psychological manipulation, escalating into deadly violence. In the end, the jury agreed. Julene Simko was convicted of murdering her husband, Jeremy. The court's decision highlighted how insidious forms of domestic control, while not always physical, can be just as dangerous, leading to the most tragic of outcomes. The slave contract murder sent shockwaves far beyond the small Ohio town. It became a media sensation. News outlets latched on to the sensational details, and the story went viral online. The case sparked intense public discussion about topics that often remain hidden behind closed doors: psychological abuse, marital manipulation, and the hidden dangers that can exist within seemingly normal relationships. People were fascinated and horrified by the idea that such a dark and controlling dynamic could exist just beneath the surface of an ordinary suburban life. The case served as a stark reminder that we never truly know what happens behind closed doors. Even with a conviction and a prison sentence, the case of Jeremy and Julene Simko leaves behind a trail of haunting questions. How much did the slave contract truly contribute to the murder? Was it a fantasy that spiraled out of control, or was it a calculated tool for manipulation from the very beginning? Were there warning signs that neighbors, friends, or family might have missed? Could this tragedy have been prevented if the signs of psychological abuse had been recognized sooner? The case serves as a chilling legacy, a story about the devastating power of manipulation, the violation of trust, and the darkness that can lurk in the most intimate of human relationships. Long after the headlines have faded,